I'm going to be talking and reviewing about the Spectra. This actually is my own personal pump. I used this when I was pumping for my first daughter, Violet. I used this for about 6 months. This particular pump is the S2. There is also the S9 and the S1. The S2 is cord operated only. The S1 is battery operated. So that's an advantage of having some of the different models. Now, the thing that I like about this pump is it's actually relatively quiet compared to most pumps. One thing that I don't like is it starts in the expression mode. So when you turn this pump on, you're going to want to actually hit this wave button at the top to put it over into the stimulation mode. So this quick fast cycle is your stimulation mode. This is what will help trigger letdowns for you, okay? So when you start, hit that wave button, and you want to use that until you start to see your milk flow or you've triggered a letdown. Then you want to go back to that expression mode. Now, usually for most moms, I like to have that cycle at either 50 or 54 to maximize how your baby is pumping. If you have a newborn or a preemie and are starting out with colostrum, you can have it lower, but typically you want to have it all the way to the top. The nice thing about this pump is it does have those two modes, the stimulation and the pump mode, and you do have quite a bit of control with the vacuum. So you can go up as light or as strong as you need to with this pump, okay? So again, when you're pumping, you want to alternate back and forth between the stimulation and the letdown modes, or the stimulation and the expression modes that will maximize your pumping when you're using this. So again, start it in stimulation, switch to express. When your milk slows, you're going to actually want to go back to that stimulation mode. Okay. Now with this pump, one of the negatives is they have their own pump pieces. So these are not compatible with a lot of the aftermarket flanges, and they have limited numbers of sizes. So the difficulty is being able to find a good fit for this. Now there are multiple hacks for the Spectra. You just have to need a lot of different adapters to get a really good fit. So that's one of the negatives, is they have their own pieces and it's literally attached. It does have the duckbill membranes, the little white pieces that have the slit that act as a flap, so that they are good. This is also a closed system, so because it has this diaphragm, your milk won't get into the tubing. This protects, it's a backflow protector, protecting your milk from getting into the pump. So you could theoretically give this pump to someone else, or someone else could use this pump and just buy new soft pieces and tubing. This milk protector comes in. It attaches to the back of your pieces. Now again, this is the Spectra piece, this is flange, this is what came with the pump. Pumpin' Pals does make a flange adapter for the Pumpin' Pal, okay, so that you can come in and put that on. Now if you really wanted to, you could get the Pumpin' Pal adapter and then put a Medela flange or a Hygeia flange or a Maymom. There's a bunch of different pump flanges to make a more comfortable fit. Lactec has a baby motion flange, is another alternative. So you could technically jerry rig and find the perfect flange fit by getting the Spectra adapter piece from Pumpin' Pal. This also does go into, Spectra has its own wide mouth bottles that only fit this. So they've done a good job with their marketing of keeping everything within their own company. But again, there's a hack to be able to use the Pumpin' Pal. All right, so this is a pretty good pump. It has a pretty good motor engine in it. It's what I would consider a quality pump for moms who are trying to potentially increase and maintain their milk supply. It is not a hospital grade motor, meaning if you are trying to increase your supply, if you're really struggling with your milk supply, you may want to consider renting a hospital grade pump such as the Symphony, which does have a better motor in it. Sometimes the Hygeia can work a little bit stronger because of the motor in that, but a lot of moms really like the Spectra. It's very easily portable. The S2 again has a battery pack, so it's convenient for pumping in the car or on the go. It is a little bit bulkier, but it's quiet. So compared to a lot of the other pumps, this is one of the most quiet ones on the market. This pump I would definitely give an A. Or A minus. The minus only because it doesn't have as much variability as some of the other pumps in being able to completely control your cycle and your suction, because of how this pump is preset to the stimulation mode. So that's the only reason why I would take a little bit off for it. But this is a really popular pump. A lot of moms who have pumped on other pumps tend to really like this Spectra. So I would definitely recommend it. It's a good pump to have, and there you go.